I had no idea that the United States beat Spain 2-1 via penalty kick by Megan Rapinoe.
Oh, it's the San Diego Sockers.
As you sip your tea and your celebratory sip.
All right, so I haven't told you guys, but we are streaming. We have been for a little while.
Oh.
So yeah, there's that.
Hi.
Uh, I don't know if there's a delay on this, so I don't know if we're just gonna like pop up on the stream like 10 minutes from now, like we did last time. So when I find my YouTube app, wherever it is, I've got like 20 folders. 20 goddamn folders, and I can't find
Have
YouTube.
fewer folders.
Hey Siri, open
It's
YouTube.
live. It's live.
There we go. All right, are we like kind of in sync? I feel like
It's actually like really close.
yes. Woo!
Hmm.
I want to be too
Awesome.
loud. Is that
Hey.
awesome? I feel like it's pretty awesome. Also, glad I sculpted the beard just in time for this.
Oh,
You
very
sculpt your
nice.
beard. I
I'm
just let
looking
mine be up
scruffy.
Dude, when you have a gnarly beard, you gotta sculpt it, Brad. Otherwise, you look like a wildebeest.
I wish I could have a gnarly beard.
People hide their children. Like, you know
I
when
do
you're,
not-
you know, Matt knows what I'm talking about. When you're walking at a supermarket and they're like shielding their kids. Don't look at him. Don't look at the homeless in the eyes, or we have to give him money.
Oh my god.
Yeah, when I have a great big bushy beard and I've like recently shaved my head. Oh yeah, people tend to get
Oh
away
yeah,
a little
that's
bit.
a little bit different than my kind of scruffy
And plus, I'm
beard.
6'4", so that doesn't help.
All right, let me.
Is that a joke at Matt or never mind.
No,
Okay.
Okay. So I just want
I'll
to set
make
up
fun of the
chat in
vertically
case we get
challenged.
that. In case we get that one video from, or that one comment from that one person who's bored and just happens to go on a random stream. Cool. Okay, so I guess we'll officially get this started. Welcome to episode number 34 of 1868 Weekly. I'm your host, John Macaluso. We are live streaming right now on YouTube, so that's kind of cool. It's our second live stream. We're joined by Matt Rafferty, Lieutenant Dangle. How you doing, Matt?
hey, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. We're gonna keep it on you for a little bit.
Okay.
Brad, we can see your messages on Hangouts on the stream. Just a heads up.
Oh,
Yeah, because
that's
remember
cool.
I'm recording Google Hangouts. So,
yeah, put it up there.
well, anyway, yeah, I'd say put it up there. Why not? All right, so we got Matt, Lieutenant Dangle, and the reason I've kept on him so long, because it's kind of rad. I guess I can control all three of us and what you guys can see, is because he's got the most what's the word you want to use, Matt? The most fresh is what I was thinking.
I like fresh.
Fresh,
That's pretty good.
nice. He's got the freshest of the backgrounds because he's a creative mind. And then we've got Brad Polonsky.
Hi.
Yeah, who has is that that looks like
What?
Toothless in the background. The other side.
What?
Between Dane Kelly and Kevin Partida.
You have
What
a
is-
Toothless.
Is that Toothless?
No, that's Thresh. It's a character from League of Legends.
Oh yeah, I would have never guessed that. And then a
It looks
bowling
like
pin.
Toothless.
And a bowling.
All right, yeah. Since I'm giving Brad a bunch of junk for his background, I got a whole lot of windows right here. In the background, as you can see, there's a fancy fan, and then behind it you can see a giant rhino, which his name is Snuffleupagus, right there. Oh, right. Oh, this is difficult. Right. Okay, that's not gonna happen. But he's behind me. Yeah, and then I have fire safety is very important. Fire detectors in the background, a fire alarm. And my big old mic. And then let's just go back to Matt, and we'll continue the episode on that. So, last time you guys caught up with Matt and I, Brad wasn't able to make it. I blame myself for scheduling conflicts and stuff. I actually blame that Tuesday match because I think it kind of messed a lot of things up. But things didn't really go Reno's way the last time we talked. But we recapped that match against Phoenix Rising and then the match against LA Galaxy 2 a few days prior to that. Now, we're going to continue this trend of quick turnarounds because we've got Portland 2 days from now. If you're listening to the podcast, we're recording this on Monday, June 24th. And the match with Portland's just in a couple days on Wednesday, and that is an away game. So I'm sure that there will be an away party, one that I may go to. It's a little bit easier for me to go to away parties and then bounce out to work than it is to cover a full, live game. So that's a maybe, and we'll probably not be going to Saturday's match due to family things. But you know who's gonna go? These guys, Brad Polanski and Matt Rafferty. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about that match first, since it's the match that's coming up just in a couple days. Portland Timbers. I'm throwing you guys. We don't have notes today, and I feel like I'm pretty decent without notes, but I want to see how you guys are without notes. So we're gonna go to Matt. Matt, I want to ask you, how is the history? What does history tell us about this upcoming match? Reno going to take it or what?
History tells us that Reno is going to take it. They've done pretty well against Portland, especially in Portland. That was our first win last year, and other matches they've been either dominant or either stood up to them when they've sent down a couple of MLSers, got some ties and all that, but over the short course of Reno and T2's history, we've done pretty well. And I would be shocked if we didn't this week, on Wednesday.
How about you, Brad? What do you think?
I am in the same boat as Matt. I think that Reno has, especially given that we didn't play a game this past Saturday, have definitely gotten a lot of time to prepare for this upcoming opponent, which is also sitting at the top of the table, second place right below Phoenix, the team that man, I can't believe I missed that last episode. It was so sad. But we are 100% going to look better this time around against Portland than we did against Phoenix.
Yeah, I think so too. I also think Portland's not as they're a great team. Reno has not ever lost against Portland. The first match that we ever played was a draw, and then everything else Reno's won. So I feel, and we had that 6-1 victory. I think it was our second match playing Portland ever. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like history is going to continue to repeat itself as far as this battle is concerned, especially since Reno has often done a pretty good job from the mid to later point of the season coming back from losses. And I think that this loss against Phoenix kind of really stung, a little bit of reality check. So I can see Reno coming out and really putting on a show.
Yeah, I'll go ahead, Brad.
I was gonna agree with John there. I was gonna take a look at their previous couple of matches, a couple draws against Austin Bold, again in Fresno, and then a win against Orange County recently.
Yeah, but you asked me this, a month ago, whether or not we do really well against T2. Couldn't tell you, because up until very recently, they were right at the top of the table. They were fighting with New Mexico, with Phoenix creeping up from behind, and they seem to have dropped down a little bit, lost a little bit of that panache. So we'll see what they bring on Wednesday.
All right, so my research just about ends there, guys. So off the top of your heads, and I feel like I saw a flash on Brad's screen, so I wonder if he's already looking this up. Is there anybody that we should be on the lookout for?
Foster Langsdorff.
There you go. See?
I didn't need to do the research on that, but Foster Langsdorff has been the one player who's been in the Portland Timbers system for a really long time. And he is the one player that every time I watch a Portland Timbers 2 game, which is actually more often than you would think, he is the player that, stands out all the time, that I feel like Portland's announcers are talking about a lot.
Yeah, and actually pulled up stats earlier, and Langsdorff, it has been very consistent. He has one of the most caps on the team. It seems like there's a lot of fluctuation on the team, but he's only got 4 goals and where is that? 16 shots, 9 on target. That's not great at this point in the season. That would get you about 4th or 5th on the list in Reno. And again, but bringing back to the top of their list, Asprilla. Has he been playing? Because it looks like he only has 6 caps, but in those 6 caps, he has 6 goals. So if he shows up, it might be a little trouble.
I honestly could not tell you. I'm trying to look that up right now myself.
All right, I'll buy you some time. So
Thank you.
I I'm not really that worried about Portland, especially well, I mean a little bit more way. If they were coming to Greater Nevada Field, I wouldn't be worried at all. I'd probably give Reno. I don't know. I think Reno's the better team. If Reno plays every single team like they did that first half against Phoenix, I think that Reno would probably beat 95% of the teams in the entire USL. So if we can just get that amount from Reno this week in Portland, I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah, they just got to show up and have a good game. Do we know with the situation on injuries? Do we know if Lindo is going to be back?
So I had like a very casual conversation with Lindo, one that I told him I wouldn't share. So
Okay.
yeah, so I can't. I can only say positive vibes, and I feel like that's a pretty good indication, or a pretty good like poke towards the answer that you want.
Okay. Well, I'll
So
be hoping for it, but if he's not there, I still think the rest of the boys can hold it down.
yeah, I agree. I think that we have more than just Lindo on the sidelines. You know, we've got Will Seymour as well. I love you guys know I've talked about it only like 10 million times. I love the aggressiveness of Will, and I think that for Portland or against Phoenix that was much that was missed. You guys know what I mean? But it's not like we don't have other good things going on in their absence. I mean, Sam Gleedle has been phenomenal. Yeah, I mean he was
Without a doubt.
yeah, without a doubt. I mean he's been fantastic. So a lot of depth. Ian talks about it a lot in interviews, and so I think that regardless of who we're starting on Wednesday, and regardless of who we're starting on Saturday, we're in pretty good position.
Totally agree.
All right. So as for Espria, it looks like ever since I want to say the beginning of the season, it looks like he's spent time back and forth between the MLS roster, mostly as an unused sub, and Portland too. I couldn't give you any more information about that. Just I'm using Portland Timbers' main team website.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think that no matter who they start, we at least have a shot. Although,
Yeah.
like I said a couple of weeks ago, guys, you kind of don't really know which Reno team you're gonna get, and I don't think that's changed since the last time we talked about it. So, I guess that's a pretty good time to go into predictions. Before, or if one of you guys wouldn't mind taking the first one, we already have a prediction on social media. So I'm gonna hunt that down if one of you guys wouldn't mind giving your predictions first.
Do you mind if I do a couple of questions for Reno before that?
I do mind, actually. Predictions.
Uh,
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go
all
for it.
right. Well, I guess we kind of touched on it really briefly with Matt kind of bringing it up, but one of the big questions I have right now is what does our roster depth look like? Mostly talking about missing players like Will Seymour, like Lindo Mafeka, kind of missing that midfield and the roster depth because against teams like Phoenix and on the road against San Antonio, we went onto the pitch with one offensive substitute. And against teams like that are near the top of the table, if we don't have that roster depth to be at least able to substitute out offensive players and not have to have players like Brent Richards playing late game striker
Hmm.
minutes, then we need those players back healthy. So my question is, when do we get them back? When do we have a fully healthy Reno 1868 roster again?
Right. Matt, do you have any questions for the team?
Pretty much falls into the same line. It's roster questions. Where's Reno sitting, and where's Portland coming? Like, who are they bringing from MLS? Are they going to be a full T2 squad? Same thing as every true MLS two team we face. Big old question mark, man.
Yeah. I think my question I already kind of posed, which is which Reno team are we going to see? That's going to be I mean, that's going to be kind of an overarching 2019 season question until there's some consistency in what we see. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna stick with that question this week. And of course, since we have these questions, where these questions are both for Sacramento and Portland, or are these questions just specifically for Portland? We've never had questions with 2 games in 1 week, so I'm not really sure how that would work out. Because my question stands for both matches.
I mean, mine also stands for both matches, but I do have a question for Sacramento, and it's the same question we had for the Vegas fans.
Okay,
How many
well
Sac?
let's
How many
let's
Sac
pose
fans?
that
Yeah.
when we talk about Sac. Matt, did you have well, yeah, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Let's get to the hard stuff, which is being wrong, which is what we are all going to be when we guess this score, because that's
We
just
are
how
good at it too.
we are so good at being wrong. We've got first. Let me kind of switch the camera to anyway. Let me tell you guys, Roy is he's always the quickest at giving his predictions. So here are his, and this one's a realistic prediction in my opinion. He's got Reno winning 3-2. He's got Sam Gleadle, Corey Herzog, and the man Duke Lacroix scoring for Reno. So we'll stick that in the notes, which is funny. We're gonna make the notes after the episode. It sounds like, but that's all right. So Roy, thanks so much for submitting your choices. I hope you're wrong, but I appreciate your your participation. Roy, in case anyone was curious, because I know that we don't like talking about it, is the latest winner of a week. He correctly guessed the most ridiculous prediction ever against LA Galaxy 2, the 4-2. I don't understand how you can, like, you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm just gonna at 1868 Weekly right now and tell them 4-2.
The odds of that scoreline in general are super
I
low.
just-
So, dude, well done. Well done.
Yeah. I mean, nothing but props on that. Seriously, that's insane. We've never guessed something that like I mean, I know I've guessed like a 2-1 before, or something easy and something safe is how you guys put it a while back. But that was Roy just threw out a big number and a small number, and boom, there it was. I got to sneeze. So let's do predictions, Brad.
All right. Well, I will be very similar to Roy, and I will say that my prediction will be 3-2. I have different scores this week. I think that it's going to be Mendiola, Herzog, and the Portland Timbers killer himself, Danny Musovsky. I guess that's it for me.
And I'm sure you guys couldn't see it because the focus was on Brad, but I was definitely flipping you off, Brad, because before we started on this, I had 3-2, and then when John said that's what Roy had, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll say it again. Then you said 3-2. Damn it! Now I have to change it.
No, you don't. Unless your scores are all the same, in which case I don't mind splitting a point with you.
Okay.
Is this the game where we split points, gentlemen?
It might be.
It all
Because,
comes
yeah,
down to
I
who
don't wanna
scores. Tiebreaker.
All right,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's true. So who do you have scoring?
Okay. I want to stick with what I have, 3-2, and the scores is double from Corey and 1 from Seth.
All right. Look, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys right now, okay? I just got a text from Evelyn asking if I want sushi. So my attention has gone to sushi for a minute. It's funny, I give Brad so much crap for doing other things during the podcast. And here I am ordering sushi. All right, so I'm thinking
Get a Lulu for me.
it's kind of the fun of having a live, and kind of the fun of having a live thing is I can't just be like, all right, hold on a sec, guys, I gotta reply to this text, and then cut it out later.
Can I interject for a second? Did you just say order sushi?
Yes.
Dude, Reno's food of fame is all you can eat sushi, and you get it a la carte.
Do you want me to tell you why I'm not there, Matt? Because I'm here. Because I am here.
I know, because you can't. Hand heart, man, hand heart.
All right. Anyway, I'm thinking 2-1. Speaking of safe, I don't think that the difficulty in playing Portland is going to be the actual team. I think it's the fact that Reno is going to be away. It's not that I don't respect Portland. Solid team. As Brad was saying, second in the standings, right?
Yeah.
So they're obviously a good team. I just feel like Reno is that much better. And a 2-1, I still got Brent Richards, guys. In my opinion, he's been the best guy on that team for the last couple of weeks.
After that last match, yeah, that's kind of a good call. He's gonna hit it at some point.
Yeah, and so I got Brent Richards, and then I said last week, Brad, you weren't here, but I pointed out the fact that I haven't chosen Herzog, and so this is the week I finally choose Corey Herzog. So we got Corey Herzog and we got Brent Richards scoring this week in a 2-1 victory for Reno.
So we have Corey Herzog's biggest doubter finally picking
I don't doubt Corey Herzog.
Oh, no, I was talking about Roy.
Oh, yeah, no, he's been picking Herzog for a while. So, yeah, there's that. Cool. I mean, anything else? That's kind of one of the things that in a preview episode, there's not really a whole lot to talk about because you're talking about the future. So it's a little bit harder to I don't have like interviews about it. I mean, I have interviews about us talking about the Portland Timbers last week. So I guess you guys can check out last week's episode. Interviews with Brent Richards and Matt Persano. It was really nice catching up with Matt Persano. I don't talk to him too often. So always great interviews from him. And then, of course, Ian Russell. All right, guys. So we've got 2 matches this week, as we've talked about a few times. We've got Portland Timbers. And then we have SAC coming into our house, Greater Nevada Field, on Saturday. That's going to be kind of a big match. It takes an important event for me in my life to pull me away from a rivalry match like that. But I got to do what I got to do, ladies and gentlemen. And what are you guys going to do at that match? Oh, well, you know what? You guys talk about the match first. What's going on? It's on Matt.
It's all right. What's going on? Well, we're playing SAC. It's the Donner Pass Derby, that a title that they don't want to accept. But I mean, I guess it's not much of a rivalry if they just can't win. But so SAC's doing their SAC thing. They're a mixed bag, like they have been every single time that it's been approaching us facing them. We never get a good look at what they're actually going to be like. They're up, they're down, and then they play us. So it's hard to say what kind of team SAC's going to bring. Just like right now we're saying it's hard to say what kind of team Reno's going to bring. And it's a rivalry game. It's unpredictable. It's chippy. It's usually very physical. So I'm just looking forward to a good game.
Yeah. Brad, quick thoughts on it as well?
This is a Sacramento team that is undefeated in USL play up until May 18th, so a little over a month ago. They've played 3 games. They've played San Antonio, beat San Antonio. They played at the New Mexico United Isotopes Park at the lab. They won 3-0. And then finally this past weekend they played at home against Tulsa and won them 6-0. This is a Sacramento team that has a lot to live up to because they lost at home to us, and it was convincing that we beat them.
Mm-hmm.
With what? It was 4-1. Mitchell Tainter with the only goal. It was a beautiful goal though. But this was a SAC team that feels like they have to have some retribution, and it feels weird. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and this is our second rivalry match against Sacramento.
All right,
so they look good.
Yeah, I ain't worried. Not at all. I mean, you beat you beat 2 teams that are, how do I put it nicely, Matt? 2 teams that are like not very good. I think it's probably the
Marshmallows.
Sure, marshmallows. Let's go with that. Marshmallows taste good too. So yeah, marshmallows, and then you beat a team that's fully committed to the U.S. Cup, U.S. Open. So, not too worried. Like, history is going to have Reno winning on Saturday by a lot, I think.
and we're gonna hoist the imaginary trophy because Sack doesn't want to play nice and do
Yeah,
something.
I don't know why. I don't know why they're so opposed to the rivalry.
Hashtag MLS ready.
Because
Hashtag Garber.
sure,
Something.
but I
Something.
mean,
Because
Not
they
PG.
think they're above us,
Yeah.
they haven't beaten us in how long has it been?
Last
You can
year.
think you're above us, sure, but you're not.
Open Cup.
We've proven
Open
it.
Cup this year.
Yeah.
Open Cup doesn't count. La 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 la.
What is the Open Cup?
What
You're
even
talking
is
about
that?
you're talking about the game where we like did not
Uh,
start any of our starters or what?
It's open for debate.
I don't know, man. I think you get Reno at 100%, you get Sacramento at 100%, and Sacramento doesn't win a single match. So, of course, we won't. I don't think that Reno will be 100% on Saturday, but I don't really think we're 100% until we get Brian Brown back, to be honest. But we're good. We're good, my dudes. I'm not worried about it. We don't have any predictions on that because I don't think that our listeners really know that we're previewing both of these games, even though I guess Matt and I kind of did say that that's how we were going to do it. But feel free to send us all your predictions and stuff. For now, we're going to go ahead and go into the questions, Brad, and then after that, we will we'll go into predictions. What are we thinking, Matt? We'll have you go first on the questions.
All right. My question for Reno is: will they play to Sacramento the way they should from start to finish? None of these silly little goals, none of those mistakes, none of the early mistakes that result in goals and they end up having to play back. Will they be able to put in a full 90 against them? Because I'm looking at their stats. I know we didn't really go over players to look at, but once again, still, Sack has got Cam Iwasa on the top with 9 goals. And the last time we saw Sack, he was sitting on like 6, I think, which looked scary back then. But now he's only got up to 9 with 12 caps. And Mitch Tainter, the dude who scored the screamer against us, he's their 3rd top scorer, a center defender. So I don't know what's going on in Sacramento. Reno should be able to handle their attack no problem, but will they for the full shift? That's my question.
All right, Brad.
All right. Well, I kind of previewed one of my questions. How well will Sacramento travel? I imagine they'll travel a lot better than Vegas does. Just because it's a shorter distance, and I'm not defending Vegas because they're terrible fans. But, but I feel like every time that we've traveled down to Sacramento, for USL game, we have traveled in brute force, bringing a lot of people and kind of showing up for our team. And I remember last year it was pretty fun seeing a lot of people from Sacramento come up, and I just hope that it happens again. And I owe Tyler Blackwood a couple of not so PG call outs for what he was taunting us when he went down during the USL Open Cup game or US Open Cup game. So Tyler Blackwood, I'm coming for you with some words of choice.
He's coming with some fire. Prepare yourself. I mean, my question was kind of the same exact question as the Portland match. I don't know what Reno team's gonna show up, and I don't know that it really depends on the lineup. So I want a team that played them like last time, that will completely crush them. And that's the type of team Reno has always been, a team that's high scoring and really doesn't take its foot off the pedal. And that's what I'm really hoping for both of these matches. But we'll have to see what happens. Let's do some predictions, shall we? We started with, you know what? We'll start with me. We never start with me, right? Usually don't really like to start with the host, but I'll give it a shot. I'm thinking another 4-1 victory. Actually, I'm thinking it'll be a 1-1. Probably up until the latter points of the first half, and then Reno's going to explode. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, I don't really want to, well, all right, we got to go with Corey Herzog, right? I'm going to go with Corey Herzog. I'm going to go with Danny Muzovsky. Going to go with Raul Mendiola. And then I'm going to give my man Duke Lacroix some love. We feeling it? Not feeling it? What's up?
That is not a bad scoreline, man. I'm feeling it.
All right, since you responded first, Matt, what's yours?
Alrighty. So I'm thinking that I'm going to put my prediction forward as though they answered my question in a positive,
Hmm.
that they will put in that whole shift where they shut down their attack. And it's going to be a 3-0 Reno victory at home in the Donner Pass Derby. And the goal scorers will be Corey, Seth, and you know what? I'm going to throw out Brent Richards. I'm going to pull a John, throw a little bit of
Cool.
curveball there.
And Brad, how about you? We've got some high scoring picks so far. What's
All right,
yours?
I'm not super much different. I got 3-1, and I got a whole left field side of the field scoring. I got Duke, I got Gleedle, and I got Herzog.
All right. Yeah, I'm liking these predictions, guys. Hopefully that when we are wrong, it's not the other way. So yeah, please send us your predictions on how you feel like this match is gonna go. We're looking for goals. We're looking for goal scorers. So send us those, and if you're not already in the game, get into it. It's a lot of fun. Talk a lot of ish. I mean, we don't have to talk ish. When somebody wins, everyone else is like, oh. When I told Deej that Roy won, he was just like, oh, you know what I mean. We're all like that. When we got, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Roy called us out on social media. I think he called out 1868 Weekly. Was like, hey guys, I picked the scorers or the goals correctly, and I immediately sent a meme of like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch like pulling his eyelids like down, and that got a few laughs. So, so it's stuff like that. The trash talk is fun. Sometimes, like I was saying, you don't even have to really talk trash for it to affect everyone else. If you win, that's all the trash talking you need. So, guys, I feel like there's really not much else we need to say regarding these two matches. Is there any like final thing you guys want to throw out there? Or?
I'm. It's been weird with the bye week and the midweek match. I'm looking forward to getting back to a little bit more of a regular schedule, but having back-to-back soccer, I am kind of looking forward to that. Don't have that busy of a work week like I did like this last week,
Mhm.
so I'm ready for it, man. I
Cool.
want it.
Nice. Yeah, we all do. What about you, Brad? Any final thoughts?
I feel like we don't really get much of a regular schedule moving forward. We have the Portland Timbers on Wednesday, we have SAC on Saturday, and then we have a Wednesday game against the Toros, and then another Wednesday game 2 weeks later against the Energy,
Mhm.
and then a Saturday game against Galaxy 2, and a Wednesday game against Orange County, and that's just moving into the end of July. Like, it's going to be a lot of soccer at some weird intervals coming in the next couple of weeks.
Definitely. We have 2 home games within the time span of like 4 days. So that's always really exciting. I think I'm gonna be a game time decision for that Wednesday night match. I wasn't planning on going to Phoenix Rising, and then I kind of just showed up. So
Mm.
yeah, everyone was surprised to see me because I'd originally said I wasn't gonna go. So yeah, no promises on going and no promises on not going. It's always sometimes I wake up around like 4 to 5 ish, right? And for that match, I remember waking up at around 5 and being like, "All right, I'll go." I didn't. I was like, not wanting to go, but I went, and I was disappointed. But such is life, and such is sports, right? That's just the way it is. All right, guys,
So
what's up?
was the question final thoughts? Or are we not there yet?
What are you
Never
talking
mind.
about?
Never mind. I was thinking random thoughts. I thought
Final
we were
thoughts on the
getting
matches,
Dude,
my dude.
let me tell
Okay.
you guys, we have been recording for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And
This is a quick
we were
one because
Oh, Brad. Brad thinks
yeah,
just because we're done talking
I
about
know.
1868, we're done.
You sweet summer
Uh,
child.
You silly, silly boy. All right, no.
here comes the memes.
Yeah, we are we're rolling right into USWNT because we got to talk about that win against Spain that happened today this morning at 9. Well, the win I guess technically happened around like 11, but
Yeah.
but the match was at 9. United States came through strong with a 2-1 win. We're in that stage now, the knockout stage. Well, we're not playing teams that we're going to beat what was it, 13-0?
Yeah.
That's not happening. That's it. I think the winner of or the winner was already decided. We have France next, don't we? On Friday?
Yes, France on Friday.
No joke, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's everything. I told a friend at work I will be heartbroken if the United States gets booted. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I got a lot of faith in this this women's national team. Were you guys able to watch any of the highlights or watch any part of this match at all?
Yeah, the U.S. struggled in this game a little bit more than you would expect over a team. And I don't know if it's a mixture between Spain came out kicking, the United States didn't come out strong enough, but both goals came off of a Megan Rapinoe penalty kick. And, the second one, although it was a penalty, was a little bit soft. I missed the first one because I wasn't awake at the time. I know. Surprise, 9 a.m. not being awake.
I mean, technically, I'm normally not either, so it's all good.
At 9. Well, John, yours makes sense. Brad, come on, man. It's 9.
Hey, I'm a teacher on summer.
Wake your ass up, man. Come on.
But if the same U.S. team comes out against, I like your meme over there, Matt. It's
yeah,
just
I'll
funny.
switch it over to him when you're done.
When the U.S. Team comes out like that against Spain, and France was the team that everybody was looking forward to and saying, if this isn't the final of the tournament, this is pre-group draws. If this wasn't the final of the tournament, then the tournament wasn't played the way everybody was expecting.
Mhm.
And now we're getting a semifinal match between what people are arguing as the two best teams.
Yeah.
Or is this quarterfinals?
This would be the quarters, I think.
Yeah, so we're getting a quarterfinal match against what people are going to argue is the winning team of the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, comes from this match.
Yeah.
That's just something that you look at and you're like, wow, the luck of the draw there. But if the U.S. can't come out of this game, then France is going to be the winners of the tournament. And if we do, I'm pretty confident to say that we'll kick everybody else out of the tournament later down.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I think that a problem with women's soccer on a worldwide scale is that a lot of people don't give teams that aren't the United States enough credit. And I think that's exactly how Spain came out and played the way that they did. And it was less of the United States is like way better than every other team, and more of Spain is a little bit better than what everyone was giving them credit for. So Matt, I'm going to switch it to you, get your opinion, because we all want to see those memes.
Well, yeah, I don't know why I didn't have it up for a sec. It just occurred to me that I should throw something else up. That's a classic one. That's from last year. But I'm sad that I haven't been able to watch too much in depth of this World Cup, but I really do from what I've seen. I think that this women's team is one of the best teams that the U.S. has ever put out, and I totally agree with you on that, Brad. That if whoever wins between us and France, that's going to be the winner. That's a perfect assessment.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it on you, Matt, for a little bit because that meme's pretty fresh. Fresh is the word of the day, by the way. That might be the title of this episode. Fresh.
Well, I was thinking bi-week blues, nothing but previews.
Oh, I like that.
And a little bit of
rhymes.
A rhyme.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for rhymes. Well done for knowing the way to my heart, Matt. All right, so taking it off you, Matt. Yeah, I mean we're all obviously hoping for women's win on Friday. Well, hopefully we are. So I definitely am. I'm 100% United States all the way, which is why I'm about to talk about the revenge match against Trinidad and Tobago. Sweet revenge, gentlemen. I remember thinking before the match. I often talk to Evelyn about a lot of things, and she doesn't listen, but I talk to her about it anyway. And sports is one of those things. And so I was talking to her. I'm like, oh, United States is playing Trinidad and Tobago, and we really need to crush them. And we need to come out and show that we're not gonna take that last match laying down. And the United States came out exactly in the way I was hoping. and won 6-0, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
pretty convincing, pretty awesome. I'm happy about it. And we got into the knockout rounds thanks to that match. So here's hoping, guys. Cross your fingers. I know that we're far from a favorite in the Gold Cup, but let's hope something happens. What's up, Brad?
Well, I mean, I was crossing my fingers
Oh,
first,
okay.
but I had predicted this game to be 5-0, just because I think we were going to come out of this. And Trinidad and Tobago got lucky the last time they faced us, but, you know, we are the country with the memory that does not forget. And I was looking at him like 5-0. And then last kick of the game, Aaron Long scores a goal in the 90th minute with no stoppage. I was peeved.
Wasn't that Pulisic?
No, it was
Oh,
Aaron Long.
okay.
But my man of the match, you just said his name,
Yeah.
Christian Pulisic. 100%. He had 2 assists and a goal himself. And it felt like every time he touched the ball, something magical happened.
The nutmeg.
And
Nasty.
everything. But the man just found the field, and it was his game. And everybody was calling for Yassi's artist to step up. He scored twice.
Matt,
And
for the
everybody
love of
wants-
Satan.
And everybody wanted to see Pulisic do well, and he did well. And Matt, if you cough one more time,
I had it on mute. What the fuck?
Dude, there's like 4 mute buttons. There's a mute on Hangouts. There's a mute on your mic. Killing
I
us,
muted
man.
my mic, man. What the actual?
no, you're fine. You're fine.
No. Now
Sorry.
now Brad has to repeat his whole monologue. I'm just kidding.
No, I won't.
Uh,
I won't have to.
Is it working now? Is it working now?
hey, there it is. Yeah, so you got to mute Hangouts.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's not like Matt just to almost let out an expletive there. To just cough all over the place on air. It's all good.
Sorry.
Nah, it's all good. Pulisic gives me hope for the United States soccer
Yes.
in general. Yeah, and I'm sure Chelsea fans were super stoked.
60 million pound, I think it was.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, but really, really happy with how the United States has been showing up. I mean, to be fair, they're beating teams that they should be beating, even the men's. But, it's great seeing wins. That's all I care about. That's all I care about is wins. So, obviously, rooting for both teams as they continue their paths into the knockout stages in their respective competitions. So, yeah, guys, that is the extra conversation I have brought to the podcast. Anything that you guys want to talk about? Soccer related, or you know what? We'll go as far as not soccer related as well. We still got 15 minutes.
I can't really think of anything personally.
You can, I know you had that random thought, so you can take a little bit more time to talk about that if you want.
All right, I'll do that during random thoughts then, if we're not quite there
Okay.
yet.
All right. Matt, any soccer related shenanigans you want to talk about?
No, not really. There's too quick of a turnaround from the episode that we just did, so I don't know, man. Maybe we just gotta move on to random thoughts.
Yeah, we're gonna attempt to not make that a normal thing. Obviously, Evelyn got on my butt about not being consistent with the podcast. So we're gonna try sticking to this. Oh, the live streaming on Mondays, and then here's what I'll do. I think this is a pretty good time to talk about it since we do have a little bit of extra time. What I want to do is continue live streaming on Mondays. And those who tune in or watch the video on podcast will kind of get about a day of exclusive viewing and listening to the podcast. The actual podcast itself on SoundCloud is going to be released the following day, so on Tuesday. Because you guys have listened to the podcast. I put a little bit more love into it, and it'll continue to be my main focus going forward. So I guess in short, live stream video on YouTube Monday and then podcast on Tuesday. Yeah. So I figured it's post-production shenanigans, so YouTube probably wouldn't care about how that happens. Yeah, Mondays, tune in. We're going to do this from now on. The time may vary because I know we all have differing schedules, but Brad was kind enough to post it on the Battleborn Brigade, or was it Douglas Alley, or both? Both on both social medias. In the future, I'll do it on Twitter, which I didn't do. So I'll be a little bit better in spreading the word. All right, let's go into random thoughts. Brad, you kind of talked a little bit about yours to me earlier, so you're going to get the floor first.
All right. Well, I went ahead. I'm going to share this screen. I'll give a little backstory before I do. So, one of the things that I know that all of us have near and dear to our hearts, other than soccer, is video games.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things that you look at and you say that you want to see is you want to see video gamers doing something good instead of sitting on a couch and wasting their time and doing nothing.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I like to see is in my video game community. I am a part of a video game community called speedrunning, which is the whole idea is to beat the game as quickly as possible. And so twice a year, the speedrunning community all comes together from a bunch of different games, and they have something called Games Done Quick. It is a charity marathon that goes over for about a week or two, a week, 6 days ish, and raises money for different charities. Over the summer, it's for a charity called Medicine Sans Frontier, Medicine Without Borders, and over the winter, they do one for Prevent Cancer charity. And every time it comes together, they raise over $2 million for whatever charity they want. And this time around, I'm sharing my screen. I just brought this up. This is the actual marathon itself. So they're currently playing a game called Borderlands 2, which is a game that's near and dear to my heart.
He's only talked
I
about it like 10 times on the
I know,
podcast. It's
Oh, is that
I
all?
know. Yeah, something like that. But they're playing it, and the goal is to beat the game as quickly as possible. And to do so, they're using a bunch of glitches, a bunch of cool little stuff. But the stream started yesterday at, I want to say, 11 a.m. our time. And in the bottom right hand corner of the screen is the total for how much they've raised. And so far, it's currently over two and a quarter or $250,000.
You got our
So,
pictures in the way. Sorry about that.
oh, you know,
Just
you're
wow.
fine. Oh, but raising $250,000 in the span of a day and a half is pretty cool to see for charity, and it's something that I enjoy watching. So I brought it up just to show everybody. But if you get the chance to watch this charity marathon at any point over the week, it's called Games Done Quick. Um, and donate to a worthy charity. This one is Medicine Sans Frontiers. Please do so. And if you have no interest in it, please donate to a charity anywhere. Charity is important to me. I've made my donations to the marathon so far. And I hope that everybody out there takes the time to either give their money up or give their time up, which is even better, to a charity. Go work at a soup kitchen, people. It's fun.
I think it's a perfect time to say if anyone ever has any opportunities or any charity things going on around town or even less so. Brad, this isn't the first charity that Brad's brought up on the podcast. So feel free to message any one of us and be like, "Hey, we're having a charity for this, or we're doing something for this, donations." Colo 8 is doing a fan drive for seniors right now. Stuff like that. Bring it up to one of us, and we'll talk about it on the podcast. That's charity is one of those things that it's like we're all in favor of helping people. And thanks for sharing that, Brad. That's something cool, and I know that Matt and I are also big gamers, so we can appreciate using that to get some money in the hands of people who can definitely use it. Matt, random thought, man.
Well, I was going to bring up video games too, but it was kind of random and not nearly as heartfelt as Brad. So I
What a
might shift
monster.
it. I know.
No, you could talk
Isn't
about.
that the
you
point
could
of
talk
random
about
thoughts?
it. Yeah.
Bring up
Yeah,
random
exactly. You're right. I don't know. So I've seen the tech demo or the preview for the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I'm super jelly that it's exclusive to PS4. So I've been getting the itch to play a whole bunch of Final Fantasy. I didn't want to just play from the old 7. I started back from the beginning, blew through the first one in just a couple days, but I'm not taking the weeaboo route. I'm not doing the Japanese 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
I'm going straight American. Just only because, let's admit it, NES RPGs suck. The first Final Fantasy, it's kind of boring. The game mechanics are broken. But once you play Final Fantasy II on SNES, and then from there on, much better writing, much more enjoyable, bigger budget. So that really helps. So, well, that's my nerd news.
That's
what
kind
I'm
of
up
rad.
to.
You should record it. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
I'd watch.
Yeah, I'd watch too. Yeah.
Catch me on Twitch.
Yeah, hopefully I'm looking forward to you getting a reminder that 6 is the best one. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Dude, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it too. I was like, I want to go through all the old ones, and 3/6. I know that you said that one is better than 7.
It is.
And,
it's the best one.
I hadn't played that one.
Not
since high
only
school,
is
so
it the best Final Fantasy, but it is the second best Japanese RPG ever made.
Next to
Chrono Trigger. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's an easy one. Everyone, I never argue with anybody about that one.
Nope.
So yeah, that's really awesome. If you do decide to do any kind of streaming or a YouTube thing, let us know. We can talk about it and share it. Definitely want to support like content that people in Reno make. That's right up there with charities for me. So
yeah, support local.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I end up doing it. And if anybody else has some kind of art project, any kind of stream project, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. I do have a few friends who are amidst in making. I told you guys before, and a lot of listeners on podcasts, that I used to work for a gaming website. Well, they've since the website's kind of since broken up and then moved on to separate things. One is called I'm not kidding, Roving Dumpster Fire. And then the other one is called Super Gamecast 2, which is like a second project following the first. It's a really long story. Anyway, they both produce very good content, so check those out. And then, of course, don't forget to check out the charity that Brad was talking about. It's Gaming Done Quick. Brad,
line.
Oh, sorry, I missed what you said.
what is this charity called? You
This
missed
charity-
all 10 minutes of me blabbering on. No,
I'm
what's
sorry,
up?
like
What's
100%.
the charity called?
The charity is called Medicine Sans Frontiers. The event that's happening is called Games Done Quick.
Games Done Quick. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was kind of close. So
Yeah.
check that out. And then my random thought, it's always hard going last on random thoughts because my random thought kind of all of a sudden gets taken away by what we're talking about and becomes a little bit less random. Talked about music on the last podcast, so I don't really want to talk about that. I guess I can continue the trend and talk about video games. I've been playing a game called Days Gone on the PlayStation 4.
Is that the zombie one?
Yeah. So it's let me tell you guys, if you're like us and you're in the gaming, don't spend $60 on that game. It's a lot of fun and it's great. I bought it for $40 when it was on an E3 sale. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. A whole bunch of technical problems, which I don't understand because it's been out for about 3 months. What is it? Yeah, been about 3 months. So I don't understand how a lot of my PlayStation's also getting old, so it could be that. But yeah, check it out. It's fun. Like, I really like there's an aspect of the game where you're just attacked by like hundreds and literally hundreds of zombies. And that's where it gets fun, is you're like, oh, how do I deal with all this? Because you get certain rewards by beating them. They're called hordes. So, yeah, Days Gone, check it out. Don't buy it for $60. That's my random thought. Yeah, we cool with that?
Good to know.
All right, good to know. I guess we are, unless you guys do have something else you want to talk about. We do have 7 minutes. Otherwise, we could just close it out here.
I am good. I've been enjoying, the summer for me as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and I do.
Well,
have
I mean,
a summer
clearly,
job,
if you're
yeah.
not awake at
9
9.
a.m.
Yeah, right,
I have a
jeez.
summer job that is also teaching from 11 to 3 every day. So it's like, I kind of show up, I prepare my lesson, and then I just leave at 3 o'clock, and it's like the easiest thing, and
Yeah.
I love it a lot.
Cool.
So, enjoying it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about love and jobs. Colo 8 has been amazing. I almost had another expletive there. Yeah, it's Colo 8 has been like not quite a dream come true because I still get a small paycheck, but but such is the way of journalism. So, Matt, anything you want to add?
No, well, I'm happy at my job too. If my employers are watching, hi. But no, I don't have anything else to add.
Cool. All right, guys, we're gonna close out here. Then we're gonna have our second live outro from Brad. So let's go ahead and you know what? Social media. I actually don't think we've done social media in a while. Because we've been forgetting, getting really excited about this. Obviously, follow us on YouTube, subscribe. You're probably watching this on YouTube right now. Check us out on what? The only other social media we have is Twitter. Twitter, 1868 Weekly. Do it. And then, Brad, where can we find you?
You can find me majoritatively on Reddit at
Majoritatively.
I know
The
that's
fancy.
English. I know. Oh.
So
U/pal on the sky, and that's about everywhere I posted. I made a Twitter post for the first time last week, and I feel like that's the reason why.
Oh, jeez, nobody saw
Reno, That's the reason why Reno lost to Phoenix, not because you drank Malort.
Oh no, it is because I drank
But then-
Malort.
both of
Because
you.
I made a Twitter post that morning about my smoothies, and I never use Twitter.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I did see
Yeah.
that. Okay. Matt, where can we find Mr. Wrath Out Loud?
All right. You can find me mostly on Reddit, sometimes on Twitter. Username is Wrath Out Loud with underscores between each word.
All right, and you guys can find me on John Macaluso on Twitter and the John Macaluso on Instagram. I'm still holding on to some pictures I took from Phoenix Rising. For some reason, I haven't posted them yet, but that's coming definitely before the Portland Timbers match. So look out for that. Feel free to send me a friend request on Facebook. I like being friends with you guys. I get a lot more input from y'all that way, I found. So yeah, take us away, Brad.
All right. As always, thank you guys for listening, and if you have been watching this episode, thank you guys for watching. Would love to see you guys commenting down in the YouTubes, down that way.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter
I know.
of time.
Hey, we'll figure out what we're doing, and they'll figure out what they're doing, and you guys have everything figured out. Trust me, our listeners are smart people.
Mhm.
But thank you guys as always for watching. Man, I haven't done this in a week. In Ian we trust, and
Vamos Azules! All right, we're
Thanks,
gonna.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh man, I hadn't done that in a week.
Uh,
Wait, who did it in my absence? I missed that.